What's up, everyone? My name is Kimberly Brown, and my daughter was diagnosed with autism. So, I want to talk a little bit about it before um, showing different videos and pictures over the years. Now, my daughter's name is Irie. She is 4 years old now, as of December 22nd. Um, she was diagnosed with autism um, February of this year, 2021. Um, Prior to the diagnosis, I go back to about a year. She was a year old. Um, we noticed that she wasn't talking as much. Mostly anything that she wanted, I just knew from mental just from her coming around me, I knew, oh, you want something to eat, you want this or you want that. um, as time went on throughout her uh, 1 year going into the 2 year, she still wasn't talking as much, really not at all. She wasn't eating. When I say wasn't eating, if it wasn't blended up in a blender and put into a bottle, such as smoothies or anything like that, she would not eat it. Between the months of October and December, we began to, uh, that's the word I want to use. I just say really look, hard look for a speech therapist or an ear doctor. An ear doctor, um, because on my husband's side, his brother couldn't, wouldn't talk at first because he couldn't hear. So his my husband's father suggested that we go and get that checked again, even though that when she was born, they checked her and there was nothing wrong with her ears. So we went back again and they checked her ears. There's nothing wrong with her hearing. She could hear fine. Um, so then it just became, okay, is it something with her speech? So small talk in Jacksonville was one of the places that we had went to. We had went to Nemours as well, but we stuck with small talk. And she began her therapies there. I was telling the therapist that Irie wasn't eating anything other than cereal, which was the Rice Krispie ones, and the CHIPs. I can't say that word in the house because my daughter know what they are. But anyway, she would only lick them until they were soggy, and then she spit them out. And this was where she was um, at the age of about to turn 2. Okay, so January, February, March, was taking her there to small talk. They put her in this special chair just to see how she interacted with things. And then they gave her some of the cereal and something mushy to see how she would react. She did not want anything mushy. To back up, when she was a few months old, she would eat pineapples, or at least suck them and lick them. And she would also eat Cool Pops or breast milk pops or, let's see, breast milk pops. Oh, and she would eat from the spoon. So it's kind of like she did like a regression. So I see that was age 2, about to be 2. Okay, in that same year of 1 to 2, I was potty training Irie, and she had made a little headway of me sitting her on the potty and her peeing. As long as I sat her on there, she would go. Um, when we moved, I don't know if the moving had something to do with it or not, but moving from there to my mom's house in March 2020, uh, we went to visit her for a month. And I still did the potty with her. Um, one morning I got up with her and she went and sat on the potty on her own. Okay. Also, while I was there, to jump back to the speech therapist, they had sat her in the chair and they were saying that don't take the bottle from her because right now that's where she's getting her food from. Just let her eat that way for now until they had learned more about her, what was going on. During that time, that was when COVID had happened, so her appointments and everything got shut down, got cut off. So we went to stay with my mom for a month, and during that month, Irie actually fell in love with fish. I had left my plate of fried fish on the table, and she walked over to it and began to eat it on her own. Beyond eating the fish, the chips, and the cereal, she would not eat anything else. Okay? So we moved back to Jacksonville once that was over with. She continued to eat those things. She stopped spitting out the CHIPs, and that's a habit of mine because, like I said, she knows where they are, so we don't really say that word in here. Let's see. She went to eating a whole piece of sway fish, probably about that big. And she would eat them like 3 times a day. One fish in the morning, and one at night. But then her appetite picked up and it went to 3. And she was really big at that time. Diaper wise, Irie went from wearing a 3 diaper to a 7 diaper. So from between January 2020 and May 2020, Irie went to a size 7 diaper. And she was almost 60 pounds. And taking her to the doctors down there, they didn't see anything wrong with her. All her family members just like, oh, it's fine, she'll grow out of it. But I knew that she shouldn't be that big. And then on top of that, the eczema, which was something that's from my husband's side, he had it really bad when he was little. It had gotten so bad on Irie, her legs and everywhere, that it was cracking her feet to the point where it was splitting. It was bleeding in the cracks where it had wherever her skin folded on her feet. That was where it had cracked open and it was bleeding. So that was May, June, July, August. June, July, August, I began to do a whole lot more of trying to homeschool with Irie, doing more structured things with her. In the morning, we'll do this. In the evening, we'll do this. I took TV, tablets, everything like that away from her. Before this, I really didn't know how to approach my kid because I didn't know whether, you know, she was understanding me. I didn't really know what was going on. Um, the I want to say the moments where she would just go like somewhere else, like doing this and hands flickering. She would do that from age as early as 1, and then it continued on. The spacing outs where she would be trying to say something. She just, whatever it was she wanted to say, it wouldn't come out. So it was like, so that was between 1 and up till she turned, well, I want to say a little after 3. And I'll get to that in a second. But the space outs, they were so, it just concerned me, and I would just go to her and I would call her name, and then she'd come back. It took a while, like sitting and calling her, like, honey, honey, you know, talking to her, Irie, Irie, calling her, and then, you know, over some time she'd come back. I knew that it was something that was hindering her from talking. I never called it autistic. Um, the doctors did that, and they did that this year. When all the therapists from Greensburg County High School evaluated her speech, um, developmental, occupational. It was 6 of them. All of them were different therapists. And they all looked at how her movements were, how she reacted, how she went from one game to something else. And it was difficult for me to watch as a mom, because I knew what she was saying, I knew what she was doing, because I'm her mom. But they didn't, and I knew she was trying to communicate in her own way, but no one knows what that is, other than me as her mom, because I've always been with Irie. Her dad drives over the road, so most of the communication that Irie does has always been with me. And whenever she's tried to play with other kids, this would always run them away. So this behavior continued from 2 years old, 2020, in May, all the way to 2020 December. And her potty training that I had made headway with, because we moved back to Virginia again, everything went away completely. She forgot how to do all of that and reverted completely back to diapers. I had to revert her all the way back to diapers, because I would leave her diaper off, and I just put underwear on, and she would know to come to me, or something to that effect. It was always coming to me. And I would just take her to the potty. I just would know. But then it just went to her just peeing on the floor, peeing in underwear. She had gotten, before we moved back to Virginia in October 2020, she could go to the potty with her underwear on, but I would be in a proximity with her where I would see her and I would run and pull the panties down. Once we had moved, that was prior to moving. Once we moved, she went to peeing and pooping in her underwear. She hadn't made it to pooping in the potty yet. I kept trying with her, but she would never do that. So that led us all the way to trying again to get speech therapists here in Virginia, because the COVID thing had happened in Jacksonville, and we just decided to switch everything up here. So we switched everything. They started seeing her December 19th, 2020. And they approved her date, the date that they would all see her in January, which they saw her 3 to 4 times between January and February. They evaluated her, watching how she walked in the school and everything in that auditorium, and then they had made a decision at the end of February, beginning of March, that she was autistic. And again, she was not speaking, not calling out anything, just this. And even though she would say mom or dad every now and then, it was never like an all the time thing. She would repeat her songs or shows that she saw on TV, and she'd repeat them very well. She has a great memory of things, but she would never verbalize it. Um, Even when they were asking her to do something simple as let's build the blocks up, 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 and Irie would just hold the blocks in her hand, looking at them, doing it, and she would never mimic the action. They wanted her to draw a line up and across. Irie would never do it. She just took off running, not attentive at all, just everywhere. Uh, Trying to get her to focus, I had to, if I was trying to get her to focus during that time, I would have to give her CHIPs. And even with that, it wasn't a long attention span. It was just give me those, and no focus at all on what she was doing. Again, the hand flickering. So in this time, September 2021, I was introduced to this program called Deal Method, and I got on it myself first. A meal plan to help cellularly heal the body, and I saw what it was doing for me, and I thought, wow, they say this can heal anyone. I want to put it on my daughter. Put my daughter on it. And during that time, from September until December, was a lot of waste coming out in her pee. I mean, kidney stones, old calcium, built up rock calcium was in her pee. All sorts of things were coming out in her urine that I had never seen before. Clear, glistening, wormy looking things, green wormy things. All this stuff was coming out of her. Black flakes were coming out. And I still hadn't noticeably seen any change in her behavior yet. But I continued with the meal plan with her and with myself. After they had diagnosed Irie with this autism, March, April, May, they enrolled her in school every day for 1 hour. She would either be with Ms. Bennett, or for 30 minutes she would be with her speech therapist, or for 30 minutes she would be with an occupational therapist. And this was every day of the week. Irie's attention span in the class was only held up by giving her CHIPs, for her to sit in the high chair. And even then, she would still throw tantrums. But they were beginning to get more controlled. One thing with Irie, she loves praise and reinforcement of praise, like you're doing a great job. So for her, that was one thing that was definitely working for her. Over the summer, I really locked in with Irie. We were still doing the meal plan. I really locked in with her. I took all of the CHIPs away. Um, and instead of, okay, I'm going to give you this for you to sit still, I took it all away. And the summer of 2021, this year, her whole mind just rewired. Um, she began to call out shapes, numbers, letters. I mean, talking up a storm. Uh, Complete sentences. If she wanted something, I would put it in a sentence. I would say, "Mommy, can I have a snack?" or something like that. It would be in a sentence. Or, "Mommy, open the door, change the channel." Um, any two sentence, or three word sentence, or 2 word sentence to get her to talk. That's what I did. I bought all sorts of flashcards, all sorts of wooden type things to get her to respond and react. I bought wooden fish games, which she really got interactive with. But when school reconvened this year and I went to see her teacher, I said, "You're not going to recognize this little girl, because the little girl that you were dealing with, she's gone. I got another little girl for you." And they didn't really believe me. But when they got on the video call for her class and they saw her I said, say, "Good morning, Miss Bennett. How are you today?" And I repeated it right back to them, just like I said it. And I picked up flashcards. I said, "What is this?" And she would just call them out: ball, house, bat, cat, a parallelogram. I switched them up. I had numbers, I had shapes, I had everything in there. So it just went, whatever shape it was: parallelogram, diamond, heart, 1, 27, 15. She just calling it out, getting it out there. It was just so awesome for me to see her do that. And even she started learning other languages over the summer. One of her shows, Word Party, teaches Mandarin. So she went into her classes one day and she was saying "ni hao," and just the words that she had learned, she was saying them then. She said something in Mandarin for hello. Can't remember what that is now, but she was saying it to her teacher, and she was like, "I love how pretty your voice is, whatever it is you're saying." And I said, "Yeah, that's Mandarin." She's learning Mandarin. She's learned Korean. Yonseyon, that's how you're doing. Hello, how are you? And I'm having to learn it because otherwise I'm not going to know what she's saying in the house. So she's doing so great now. The meal plan definitely helped move the medals and all of the things that were holding her back. Even walking with me, holding my hand, going across the street. That is incredible. She used to just have a whole meltdown. My God. In the street, wherever. I would never have tried to walk Irie anywhere if she wasn't in a stroller. I would never do it. But now, yes, I hold her hand and we walk. We walk. We go for walks. um, She wakes up in the morning, gets out of the bed, walks to the mirror, and just starts singing, "Good morning, how are you? It's going to be a great day." I mean, she has her own personality. Her personality, that is, oh my gosh. I have been introduced to my daughter's personality for the first time. All these years, I have just seen the shell of Irie, and now I'm able to see her. Yeah, and it's so beautiful to experience that. Other parents will bring their kids over throughout the years to play. My husband's friends or my friends, and I would be trying to call out numbers or do puzzles or whatever with her, but they would come and do it with ease. They knew what I was saying. And they was just like, "Yeah, that's yellow. This one goes over here." And I'm actually having a conversation with them, and they're 2 and 3 years old. But with my own daughter, I could not do that. And so now I'm able to talk to her more, and she understands what I'm saying, and she does it. I can tell her, "Hey, hand me that, hand mommy that, or go get that, or go get your bottle out the fridge," and she goes and does that. So for me, I'm just starting to experience what other parents have already been experiencing with their kids. Um, 1, 2, 3, years old. I'm just getting there on this side of the mountain. Like I said, June from June 2021 till now, I'm really beginning to experience Irie and really beginning to enjoy more now than, I mean, and it's not like I wasn't enjoying it before, but now that my daughter can talk to me and I can share things with her, and I don't feel like it's going like to this person that I don't know if she's there or not. It's very emotional for me. Um, every night when I get her to sleep, I sing her bedtime song, "Mommy's Baby." Yeah, yeah, yeah. uh, I just hold her and I kiss her so many times on her cheek, and I just lay my face to her, and I'm just, "Mama loves you." Yes, she does. I'm so proud of you. And that is actually in the song that I'm singing, that Mommy is so proud of you. You learned how to walk, you learned how to talk, you learned how to do all the things they said you couldn't do. Mama's little baby. And every year that she's gotten another age, I would say, "You are 2 now, you are 3 now." And now I say, "You are 4 now." So I'm very happy to be able to share this journey with you. I will be uploading videos. I will be walking through with you the different stages of where she was at that time, to bring more clarity to my daughter's story, and her journey now, where she's at now. Um, and I'm so honored and so grateful to that you've welcomed me into your home, into your life, and I pray that this is a blessing for you. Peace. Have a good day. I wanted to add this to my daughter's video that I just did yesterday, because I meant to add this in, but trying to remember all those dates, um, I forgot. So in May, June, no, let me go back some more. March, April, May, June, still potty training with Irie. It's something in that time, in those months when June got there. I remember looking at her in the hallway, and she was walking down the hall with her tablet, and we had locked in on the deal method
program. Like I had really locked in. There was no CHIPs, no rewards, no nothing. Just the program, 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 and whatever Dr. Quillencina told me to give her. Okay, whatever herbal teas that they made her, whatever blends, that's what she got plus the food. She was going down the hallway and she just suddenly stopped and looked at me like, and then she took off for the potty. And I was like, oh my God, like it just, all of it clicked. Like, I'm supposed to do this. And right before that, she would at least go to the potty and stand and wait for me to come. And because she wasn't sure how to pull her clothes down yet. But now fast forwarding, she was now going to the potty on her own, pulling down her underwear. She wasn't pooping yet, but one day she went and pooped in the potty on her own. The next phase of that was she got up in the middle of the night. Now, at first, in the night, I still had to put a diaper on her because she would still pee on herself in the night. But at some point during this summer of 2020, June, July, August, it clicked. She got up in the night, woke me up, and I was like, what in the world is going on? She didn't have any underwear on. She had went to the potty on her own and without my help. I'm so proud of her. I mean, everything for her at that moment was just firing off like, okay, this is what I'm supposed to do. This is what I'm supposed to do. And I'm just so proud of her. So I definitely wanted to add that one in there. She goes to the big people's potty now. She doesn't use the little people potty. I was concerned about that at first, about 2 months ago, but she just kept going, like progressing. And when we go to the library now, I don't have to take her little baby potty anymore. I can just take her in the stall. She sits on the potty and goes to the potty like a grown woman. She does effortlessly. And I don't have to worry about like, oh, it's gonna feel weird to her. Nope. She knows that's the potty. She knows that's where she's supposed to go, and she goes.